What's going on, everyone? My name is BoIt and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology action. Jumping right into the game, spawning in the... is this the west of the map or the east of the map? I don't know. It's in the left hand corner in the red colour, playing Isis. His name backwards is Naruku? I don't know, Naruku? I can't remember. Anyway, it's AOM King. His opponent today in the blue colour, playing Isis as well, is the legend Magyar. I don't know how much of a background I have to give into these two players, but basically, in many people's opinions, these were the two best Age of Mythology players of all time. Now, that's not a light statement by any stretch of the imagination. King dominated the game in about 2006-2007-ish era for about 6 months, playing Zeus, doing the same strategy every single game. He beat people like KRT Phil, like I think his record was like 11-1. Yeah, he was Zeus versus Thor, and that matchup was a little bit broken back in that day. It still is now, but there is ways around it to make it a little bit more even. However, he 11-1, like that's, and I think the only reason he lost was that one game was due to a house relic, which made aggression not possible, and I guess he just didn't account for that in the game. You can always make mistakes. He just didn't lose. Like, I remember talking to Spoeft about it, and Spoeft said to me he was the only person who he ever specifically trained to beat. He's the only person who he specifically created strategies to counter King's strategies. And that's a bit of an amazing statement considering how good of a player Spoeft was. Magyar, on the other hand, he dominated the game for so long. He's not playing at the moment anymore. He might play the odd game on the Titans, but for so long he just absolutely just demolished the competition. I'm waving my arms about while I'm saying this, but shit, I don't know what to say. Like, his micro is godly. If you ever had the opportunity of playing him in the past, like, you just wanted to punch yourself in the face every time you had a fight, because you're like, yeah, I got this. My army is on par with his. No, you're never on par with Magyar's army. He doesn't have to have any upgrades, and he'll still dominate you. And it's just, it's a thing of beauty to watch. Not to take anything away from King. King's micro was, it was godly. It was, I don't know. He was dominating for so long that, like, it was just one of those things. He just went into a fight with half the amount of units as his opponent and come on top, like losing 1 unit or something ridiculous. Not to say anything about Magyar, that he couldn't do that. I'm sure he did. I just haven't seen anything of that sort. But basically, Magyar's micro accounted for his playstyle, where he doesn't get any army upgrades. He just gets economic upgrades, and he'll invest in armory upgrades later in the game. Anyhow, this was a tournament, if I recall correctly, whereby, what was it? It was the KorN tournament. I think it was in 2009 or 2008, one of those 2 years. So King was out of action for a little bit and he trained for this tournament. Magyar was in his prime. So basically, this is one of the closest points in AOM history whereby you can sort of judge these two players side by side in the best possible and fairest way. The best possible way and fairest way. So we do see King's build is a little bit, how you say, unorthodox. He did a couple of strange things whereby he would send one villager here, one villager there, one villager there, one villager there. Normally what you do with most stuff nowadays is sort of like sections of villages. So 5 villages there, 3 villages there, 2 villages there. Stuff like that. Not to say that this was bad by any stretch of the imagination. I'm sure he was just winging it. Because when you get to this level, you can sort of make judgments based off of what you think is good at the time. Like, you see, you have X amount of resources here, X amount of resources there. I can do this, I can do that. I'm going to do this because I feel like this will be better in this situation. We do see that. With Magyar's build being a little bit more solid than King's, I don't know exactly what he's got. He's got pickaxe and hunting dogs. King has husbandry and hunting dogs. So both players opted to get different technologies. I can understand why King decided over husbandry. over pickaxe, just because, well, the hunt is all the way in that corner. You really don't want to be hunting in that corner, because, well, it's going to force a priest fight, and it's going to be micro. It's going to come down to micro to who wins, and you really don't want to take that risk in a tournament situation, especially against someone as prolific as Magyar. We do see King advancing to the classical age through Bast. Magyar not yet advancing. He's got one more villager to build, and then he will also be through Bast. So we're going to see the standard Isis versus Isis in this game. I believe we do have some little priest harass here, a little bit cute, making that villager drop off his resources a second or two later. Every second counts in this game, it really does, and it's a lot of people don't like, they underestimate it. A lot of people who try to improve in this game underestimate how important a second is. So let's imagine, say, we have 5 villagers idle for 1 second. Or 2 seconds, let's just say 2 seconds, because that's more realistic than anything else. 5 villagers idle for 2 seconds. That means that you're going to get those resources from those villagers 2 seconds later, meaning you're going to get maybe a technology or a unit out 2 seconds later. What if you got attacked, your units were, the units you just created, were on their way to that fight, but because they weren't at that fight, you're down like, say, 4 units or something, because that round of units wasn't produced in that time, and he's up 4 units. That's a big thing. 4 units over whatever, it's a big thing. We do see King in the classical age, going to throw up his armory. He's going to be spamming out priests here. Looks like he's actually moved his villagers over to the gold mine before he's going to the heroic age. This is an interesting tactic. I don't know how much I like it. He could have got to the heroic age without those priests. He didn't need them to defend either, because he has this nice concave here whereby that tower and that tower is going to prevent anything happening from Magyar's side of things. So what he could have done was simply gathered off those goats and then switched all of his villagers over onto gold, and he would have been sitting in quite a nice spot, really. But granted, conversely, what's going to happen here is King's going to come to the heroic age with such an economy. It looks like Magyar is already advancing through Nephthys, so Magyar is going for a little bit less economic. So he's going to be there. He's not going to have the priests that King's got at the moment, so he doesn't really have map control to throw down a forward Migdol. So he's going to have to put one relatively back, so maybe here or up here, but he's not going to be able to put one on this side of the map. No way, shape or form, otherwise he'll waste Ancestors Eclipse. King's going to put a repush on with Siege Tower and Chariot, and go from there. At least I think. I don't know how many priests he has. Looks like he doesn't have that many yet. So, I lied. But, we have to remember that Magyar doesn't know that King hasn't made priests. Like, it's sort of that play on tricks. If you cast Prosperity in the Classical Age, before you go into the Heroic Age, 1, it makes your opponent think you're going to the Heroic Age. 2, it makes the opponent think you've built priests. Which means that this has to happen. The Migdol has to go up back here. Because you think he's going to the Heroic Age, you think he's built priests. What happened was King built farms. So, he's going to be going to the Heroic Age. He's going to have monster economy with all of those villages on food. He's going to be able to start producing elephants really early, which is going to defend against any priest, chariot, and siege tower composition. With a bunch of priests, which probably will come out as well, because he's had 10 villages mining gold for such a long time. I don't know. It's a little bit about mind games, I guess. I can't exactly explain why King did this. He's trying to get in the head of Magyar. He's trying to. I think he knew, and Magyar knew, that Magyar's mechanics were actually slightly better than King's at this point. So if he were to play a straight-up game without any of these mind games, he probably would fall behind. So he's going for the. He really needs to out-strategize Magyar, and King was an amazing strategizer. I did talk to him at some point in my history, whereby he was talking about how I think it was it was about the Athena rush. He said something about him taking 6 months to actually create and form this strategy, and once he'd perfected it, he was like a new horizon, like, oh my god, nothing can stop this at the moment, nothing is good enough to stop this, and he would just do the same thing over and over again. Economically, he did the same thing, and all that other junk. In any case, we do see King's going to be throwing up a town centre first. Even more interesting, like, King knows that Magyar's got a town centre up. King knows that Magyar's had a Migdol and a siege workshop up for a little bit now. He's got the heroic age like maybe a minute or 2 minutes before King. So what King has to do now, he has to abuse the fact he's got 400 food. He needs to produce villagers like a mofo. Magyar, on the other hand, has only got 9 villagers on food, so he's not going to be able to produce villagers that efficiently. If he is, then he's not going to have any food-based army. So what King has to do is he has to get out a butt ton of gold in order to be able to produce in order to be able to produce mercenary to deal with a priest, chariot, and siege tower composition, which is going to happen on this town centre. And he's going to produce all of these mercenary to kill off that siege tower, and then he's going to be able to re-push out with his own Ancestors Eclipse and his army. It's a really smart play on King's behalf, because what it does is it allows Magyar to think he's got an opportunity to attack where he really doesn't, because mercenary are an instant army, like they happen like that, like just a click of the finger, and it looks like he doesn't have anything, but really he's got all these resources stockpiled. And if we look at King's perspective here, he's just doing down a Migdol stronghold, so when that gets up, all of this food that's being produced is going to be able to transfer straight into gold, because you can sell it, and then he's going to be able to produce all of these beautiful mercenary to defend for him. Now, Magyar's moving forward with the siege tower, with the siege workshop, and he's going to try and make something happen. With the Migdol stronghold up here, this is protecting all of this area. So that's nice positioning by King. He's securing this gold mine, he's secured that gold mine, and then what he's going to be able to do is defend and then push back. That is if Magyar decides to push in here. And that's obviously up to Magyar's discretion. If he sees an opportunity, he's going to try and take it. We'll see what happens. King getting a little bit antsy with these priests here, trying to build an obelisk here. That's not going to happen. He's going to have to retreat them. He's going to lose them. And really, at this point in the game, you don't want to lose any priests. You don't have the gold to invest in those priests again, and he doesn't manage to. What priest's still alive? Going to have to heal him up, otherwise he will lose it. And it looks like King going to be able to pick off one chariot for free. Nice job. And the thing which is beautiful about Egyptians, and I think lots of people say different stuff is overpowered about Egyptians, but I think the thing which actually is overpowered about Egyptians is the fact that priests can heal the army. Like, it's such a thing which is overlooked all the time. Yes, they've got chariots, they're a broken unit. Yes, they've got Ancestors Eclipse. Yes, they've got these monuments. Really, it's these priests which can re-heal units. No other race has a mobile healing unit, apart from Norse, so it's Valkyrie, but they don't really count because they're expensive and you can't mass them, or you can't like a couple of them. Like they'll heal too slowly. So, that's just me. I just think that mobile healing units are really strong. Anyhow, it looks like because Magyar hasn't made any aggressive move, King's caught up economically, and thus he's managed to catch up militarily, and he's just pushing on from there. He's got like 28 villages on gold. He's got camel caravans coming out. He's got more priests coming out, and we do see Magyar sitting at 121 pop, and King sitting at 120 pop, so he's very, very close. The War Elephants, I think, will turn the tide in this fight. What's going to happen, I think, is Magyar is going to be able to cast the Ancestors Eclipse first, just because he's got the, he chooses when to fight. Like, King's like, okay, I have to play on the defensive footing here. I don't get to choose when to fight, and we do see King moving out here a little bit, trying to pick off some units, and this is where micro is really, really important. With siege towers on the map, what happens is, you can't let these chariots focus fire these siege towers. I played a game with AOL Berserker once, and he said, I hate playing against you because I have to micro my own units. What you can do against lower level players who aren't focusing their chariots is you can set your siege towers in front of their chariots, and that means that they're going to start focus firing your chariots. And we do see a little bit of aggression coming on here. Looks like Magyar's going to be sending his siege towers over to deal with King's siege towers. They're not the strongest. Magyar does invoke Ancestors and Eclipse. King's going to be able to retreat now, and he's got 900 gold there to produce Mercenary. If Magyar decides to push in here, it's going to be a very bad fight for him. I think King does have funeral rites, so these ancestors are going to melt. What King has to do, however, is remember that his chariot, if he loses these priests to those chariots, it's going to be a very rough day for him, because he has to deal with these ancestors, he has to deal with the fact that these mercenaries have to pop out, and he's being really smart here. What you can do, and I don't do this myself because I haven't thought about it, I just noticed King doing it here, he's produced these mercenaries into his town center, which means that they're going to pop out instantly. And it's going to be like all these mercenaries shredding down these siege towers, and if he doesn't lose this town center, then that means that, with a little bit of misclick on the priest there, however, if he doesn't lose this town center, this ancestor attack has been wasted. And it looks like the siege towers are falling very quickly, and this town center is going to survive with the smallest amounts of HPs, needs to repair that back up, and now counter Ancestors Eclipse can happen to Migdal Stronghold going up on the battlefield, but I don't think that's going to be able to survive. King does not have any real damage dealing hack units which is going to be able to stop this Migdal Stronghold from dying. I mean, what King can do is kill off that monument to the villages and then cast Ancestors Eclipse, or cast it back here and run them in, but that's kind of unreasonable. And it looks like that's what he's going to do. He's going to tear down this monument to the villages and cast Ancestors Eclipse himself. There aren't any priests. Actually, no, there's another one there. It's going to have to be around about there, which isn't a bad spot by no stretch of the imagination. Actually, it looks like King doesn't even need to. He can just push through here. Magyar doesn't have any armory upgrades, and King has copper upgrades, so he's actually really far ahead at the moment. And a little bit of smart play there. What you need to do is, whenever you see Migdal Stronghold getting empowered by a priest, you need to stop that happening, because that turns the repair rate into insanity. I think it's like a 300% boost in repair rate, which is like, oh, it's disgusting. I don't know who decided that that was a thing, but it really shouldn't have been. In any case, the mercenary cavalry coming out for King. King needs to think about going to the Mythic Age now. He's got the 3 town centers, he's got the economic advantage, he has to make something else happen. If you can throw up a Migdal up here somewhere, then he can push forward and attempt to make some sort of aggressive play. However, he's spending some resources. He is getting fortified town centers, which is going to make him obviously produce more units, probably going to invest that into the economy. He's only got Actually, he's got a lot of idle villages here. He needs to send them up to that gold mine, or that gold mine. One important thing which you need to note is Magyar's actually got very good vision on the map. He's got all of this over here, so he can see anything happening. He can see the siege workshop going up, and he can see all that other junk. So what he knows is he has to play on the defensive footing. He has to get out the units in order to deal with what King has. King needs to really be aggressive. He's no point in sending these chariot out to raid anything over this side. I mean, you can check to see what's over here, but really, once he sees all of this stuff over here, actually, Ancestors Eclipse here would be really strong. However, we do see a monument to the villages up, which is going to prevent that. Actually, he's going for it right now, right in this location. I don't see any priests for Magyar at all, so this Ancestors Eclipse is going to be very devastating. However, I think that these siege towers are going to fall too quickly because because King's chariots are over in the wrong location. He's trying to be a little bit too tricky with his he tried to be a little bit too tricky with his army movements, whereby I think if he had the chariot here, he could have picked off like 1 or 2 of these villages and really kept pushing through and to take out this town center. Or alternatively, he could have just used the ancestors to take that down instead of killing off units. Remember, what it comes down to is like what you can do. Like if you can take down this town center, which looks like he's trying to do with these ancestors, however, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. They've got 500 HP to take down in this time, and Magyar might be... No, he's not. He looks like he's going to be able to repair it back up with those villages, so no chance for King there. Throwing away a little bit of an opportunity to win the game there. It looks like he is going to the Mythic Age to Osiris, which I think it might be a little bit of a bad play on his behalf. Mythic Age is definitely the right choice, but with Thoth, it's just so strong late game. Like after you get Valley of the Kings and you get the economy going, it's like instant elephants wherever you want them, instant chariots wherever you want them. But the thing which is going good for Magyar is his trade. Like, he's got a magnificent trade. Actually, King's isn't. Actually, King's is pretty bad. He's only got a couple of camel caravans, so he's actually producing more, so that's fine. And we do see King securing his location here. He's killed off all those. What he really needs to do is wall off, like, over here. If he walls off that, then that's going to be fine for him. We do see a Megadol stronghold going up from Magyar over the right side of the map. We call that the right side of the map, and a little bit of a skirmish going on over here. King waiting for, getting up Son of Osiris. Now what he has to do is basically abuse the fact that he's got this really strong unit. However, he doesn't have any siege towers nearby. These chariots are going to be doing monstrous amounts of damage to him. He actually just needs to retreat that right now. He's taking way too much damage. It's not a good thing. One really important thing to note about the Son of Osiris is he can't get healed. So if he takes any damage, it's a bonus for your opponent. So you never want to take any damage. So what you can do is you can get out one siege tower and run the Son of Osiris around with that siege tower. And whenever he starts getting shot at, just garrison that Son of Osiris into the siege tower, and then ungarrison him straight away, which basically means that the chariots are going to start focusing something else, and then you can get off an attack. And then what's going to happen is he's going to focus that Son of Osiris again, and you just garrison him again. It's just like a little bit of a garrison war to do as much damage and take as little damage as possible, sort of thing. In any case, King finally throwing up this Migdol stronghold right in the battle, and it looks like this is going to be going pretty nicely for King. However, Magyar in the Mythic Age, he's got Thoth, and I'll be interested to see where he throws it. And he's going to throw it right on top of that Son of Osiris, who is actually sitting at only 165 health. So he's going to have to get out of there with his pants around his ankles. He knows he's made a little bit of a mistake, I think. He's throwing away any advantage that he did have. Just as a little side note, advantages get smaller as the game goes on in terms of how big they were. What we can say about this game is King had a large advantage earlier in the game. He had a large one after he made that push with the he survived the Ancestors Eclipse push, and then he made another push with his Ancestors Eclipse. But he sort of squandered that, so it kept King in the advantage, so he's still at an advantage at the moment. However, it's not like he has a massive advantage that he used to have when he probably could have won the game. In any case, now what we have to see at the moment is Magyar's really smart play by his behalf, and I think it comes down to experience. What he's doing is he's going to wall off this location here. He knows that King can't, well, he doesn't, but I'm pretty sure he's aware that King can't see these walls going up. We do see the elephants coming in, and Magyar is going to be able to wall off this location here, which is going to prevent any sort of, what is it called, mercenary defense, and basically Magyar is going to be able to catapult down this location here. The other thing to note is King has a lot of heavy chariots out, whereas he probably shouldn't have. He's probably have maybe max 10 just to deal with, I don't know, villages or something. What you want at this point in the game is to start spamming elephant and catapults. And that's exactly what Magyar's doing. So Magyar's playing this out really nicely. And we do see a lot of units here, however, dying for Magyar. He's not going to be able to pick off this location. What King needs to think about doing in terms of, I guess, stuff is getting armory upgrades, getting masons, getting architects, securing this location over here, because that's really important, taking down this location if he can. He's sitting at 169 of 169 population with all of these chariots here. These chariots are taking up, what is it, 18 by 3? That's a lot of population. I don't like maths, but it's about 70 something. We'll say about, oh no, it's just under 60. Anyhow, so he's going to actually delete some of them. If he does, then that's going to be the catapult out. He could have killed off that, and then he could have stopped this from happening. It's not happening. Magyar has this location set up now. He's sending this chariot over to do something. Picking off villages is what he's going to try and do. King's putting up his army again. Really unfortunate for him with all these chariots. It's one thing which I see a lot of lot of mistakes from Isis players in general is once it gets past X minute, they keep doing what you're supposed to be doing at like the 8-minute mark. Like, they keep trying to do it. Really, the secret is walls, towers, elephant, and catapult. You don't need chariots. And we do see King losing this position now just due to the sheer fact he didn't have population. Magyar has, what's that, Tusk? What's that called? Tusk of whatever it is. He's got the elephant upgrade, which makes them really strong. We do see that Magyar hasn't got many armory upgrades, however. Crenellation's getting up for King, which is really smart. They're going to be able to kill off these heavy elephant as quickly as possible. And here's that thing which I was talking about. Look at this town center. He's got 2 catapults on it, and he's got a couple of war elephants as well. I mean, champion elephants as well. It ain't going down anytime soon unless King runs out of gold, which with his trade route he really shouldn't. However, looks like Magyar pushing in over here. If he throws up some baluster towers in this location, then he can push in and prevent these markets from really doing anything. And we do see, look at that town center. It's still under like heavy harassment from those catapults, but it's just like, it's ridiculous how fast it like covers. Which conversely is important, because if that gets to full HP, then they stop, and you can, if you let it get back up to full HP and then start attacking again, means that King has to start rebuilding it. And we'll see if he actually manages to get that happening again, because he stopped. I think this is an interesting thing to note. I'll just leave it down there. I won't click on anything else, and we'll see if it manages to start rebuilding and when it does. Because he just started to build, yeah, he's just started to build 1 mercenary there, and he's like, okay, time to start rebuilding that. Okay, and he is picking off a couple of catapults here, but here's the big thing. All of these all these champion elephants just keep popping in, and there's not much that King can do to stop it. Like, even if, actually, I think maybe what King could do is produce a couple of siege towers in order to push out through this location here. If he can get that wall down, then he can get these mercenaries over there, and he can start doing some real damage. And we do see that the catapults have started to get their upgrades going, doing 63 damage per hit, and still not even making a scratch over here. But here's the real story. This location up here, what Magyar has to do is cut off King's gold, and his gold is specifically coming from the trade, and he's actually got a gold mine as well. Where is his gold mine? Where is it? He's got 20 villages on gold. That's 4... I'm confused. Oh, there it is. Okay. So he's actually maintained this gold position, which is good, and he's still got like 2k gold back there. So it's finally actually starting to go down. King producing, moving more villages over. Each villager makes this even harder to stop getting torn down. He needs to start producing some more stuff. I don't know exactly what King can do to hold this location, even if he has all these villages just continuously repairing it. Looks like it's going to go down. 1 more catapult is probably going to be the difference. But as I say that, the catapult dies, and he's now still got to get 1 more catapult out. As Magyar keeps pushing up here with the champion elephant, we notice the big thing is that there's elephant all over the map doing a massive role right there. And I'm not trying to deter Osiris play, because I think it's really good in some situations, but I think King didn't exactly choose to play Osiris the correct way. As we see the Pharaoh not empowering the town center anymore, it's probably going to start to fall if he's not careful. Even the fact that he's doing so much repairing at that moment, if without the Pharaoh it's not going to be enough. We do see this, his attention must be elsewhere as he starts to repair it again. Might be little too late though. If no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. As I was saying, I don't mean to deter Osiris play, because it's really strong. If you can get a couple of mummies out to pick off those war elephants, then basically it's resources wasted for your opponent, and you're going to start winning the war of attrition, because he's got to keep producing units, whereas you don't. You just keep those mummies in the back, and when they got that special up, then you just use it. And King does have 100 favor, so I think he really needs to think about getting some mummies out, especially up in this location, defend up here, and then he can, along with those mummies, he can produce some more buildings and some chariots, and even some cavalry would be good in order to kill off those catapult. But we do see again the town center not getting repaired, and if that falls, well, I don't see any hope in the world of King getting that town center back up. Just because even with like 100 villagers on that town center and a pharaoh, like the catapult do too much damage. And we do see it. Look at it going up so fast, but four boulders come in, and it's just like up. You tried. And again, it just keeps happening. Just King has to keep on trying though. It's the only way he's going to be able to get back in this game is to get that town center up. If he's, I don't know what's going to happen here. If he can get that town center back up, I don't think he'll be able to win. But I don't know. He's managed to make the catapult move back. But again, they're not in the right position. It's going to take about 5 seconds of build time with the pharaoh and the villagers, and you just have to kill off those catapults, and he's doing so. But again, he's not empowering the town center, and when you don't empower the town center, it becomes really, really hard. But as I say that, it's getting up really quickly. I don't know. Is it going to get up? And he does manage to get it up. King manages to survive another day, picking off those catapult, which were getting a little bit too antsy there. But a bunch of these champion elephants coming in. Does King have full upgrades yet? No, King doesn't have full upgrades yet. I really wouldn't mind seeing him getting those final upgrades. And neither does Magyar. It's a little bit of poor play by both players' behalf. What's Magyar got? Oh, he's got 6k gold, so he could definitely trade some of that for the food to produce those upgrades. I would be interested to see if he's building them. Well, he's not. I don't know why. People make mistakes, I guess, and in the heat of the battle, I'm not going to take anything away from these players because they're really good. And again, this town center is continuing to stay up and being the biggest nuisance ever. However, looks like Magyar doing a little bit of the sneakiness with the villager. He's cutting through the trees and he's going to be able to move in here, throw up some towers, throw up some whatever, and it's going to be really strong. And Magyar pushing through this location now, trying to get all of the map control that he can. And he's going to just continue to see if he can do some stuff. I don't agree with these chariots. They're not the right choice. Mummies would be the right choice. We do see a little bit of no micro, just random firing. I mean, the game's gone on for 30 minutes. At the point you just stop microing because it just becomes too hard. I don't know. I really don't know. So it's really interesting that King's still managing to stay alive. He's sitting at, he's not sitting at very much population. He's lost all those villagers on the... Oh no. Okay, this spells GG for King. If he can't stop these walls from going up, then he's not going to have the gold to keep repairing this, and it's going to be very hard. As he is coming over with some cavalry though to pick off these villagers, and he's throwing up this wall again. All he has to do is kill off, how many villagers there? 1, 2, 3. As the wall starts to go up, it's a little bit of a scary moment here. If King stops that, then this wall down the bottom can keep going. However, this is happening up here. There's so much going on at the moment. I don't think that's going to happen. That's going to go up, but I think it may have distracted King long enough, and it's going to cause some issues for King's. What's it called? It's going to cause a little bit of sneaky micro right there. It's getting up that final wall. Oh no, no. That's so unfortunate for King. That's really, really clever play by Magyar though. Using that gate, meaning that he could run through it. King couldn't run through it. Don't ask me why. It was open. Like, why can't you use it? But very clever play by Magyar, managed to finish that wall off. He's going to start throwing up some towers now, finishing the wall over here, and you do see finally King's gold starting to drop. There's nothing he can really do to stop that. He's going to have to just build another market over here, which it looks like he is doing to continue his trade. It's going to cut it down a little bit. Instead of getting the 94 gold, he's going to get something more like 80 or 70 or something like that. It does go down very quickly. We do see that this location over here is slowly getting pushed back by King. Magyar may have given up on it in terms of stopping this location instead. We do see a lot of villagers on this market though, so if King can stay alive for another, I don't know, couple of seconds. I don't like this. He really needs to send the camels to the market first to drop off the resources, because that's where you drop the resources off. You don't drop them off the town center. It's gonna mean that I missed something. I missed him lose the town center. Oh no. Magyar swapping the field of battle over to the other location, taking down the town center. King's got no villagers over there. He's got all of these camel caravans sitting here doing nothing. Losing the corner and the market, and all of these idle caravans not producing anything, sitting at 143 gold. Now Magyar can produce one, just needs to produce one catapult over here, kill off that town center. And he can kill off that town center as well if he so chooses. And finally Magyar pushing through with the towers and the Migdol strongholds. What a game. Holy. Definitely one for the ages. I mean, Magyar's player was just phenomenal. King made some mistakes. I guess I shouldn't call it too early, but he's lost the talent center. What's he going to do? Where's his villagers? He sent his pharaoh over here. He doesn't have any villagers to build that up. He does so happen to do it. One catapult, as I said, to take down that town center. And the Migdol stronghold, Magyar going up at the moment, with chariots slowly picking away at them. It's just that slow defeat where you're just looking at the computer screen. I know it, you know it. You've had those games where you're like, I just snatched defeat from the claws of victory. Yeah. Haha, haha. I made it funny. Did you like my funny? I can just see it though. I can just imagine it. King's just he's lost. I feel like you would have lost that urge to win. You just lost that town center. You know you can't get it back. The game was it was yours for the taking, and you just couldn't do it. Just couldn't win the game. In any case, King trying to stop the town center from going up with all these villagers. There's all these champion elephant here though. I don't think it's going to be enough. Magyar pushing through. That town center's going to fall soon. He's got two catapults right here pulling this town center down. He's got another one on the way, I bet. He does. He's got two on the way. This town center going to start going up again. The champion elephant's doing all the damage that they possibly can. King actually sitting at 300 gold. It's a little bit of an effort right there. How much gold are they bringing in? It's actually not that much. What is it? 52? Actually, it's a fair bit. So they're bringing in quite a fair bit of gold, but not all the gold in the world isn't going to stop you from losing this game. The town center here is still under constant harass, and basically Magyar is just pushing in both directions. This one at the most part, he's actually losing a lot of villagers, so King's hanging in here for the longest possible amount of time. I guess you get that feeling when you're in such a game which is for money and for glory and for honor. It's like you don't want to give up. It's sort of like real life in some sense. If you think there's that slightest minuscule amount of hope for your dudes to stay alive, you're gonna take that thing. We do see King now running straight by these champion elephants, gonna be attempting to claim this town center back. He's got the pharaoh, he's got the mummy out finally. It's a little bit too late here. He's gonna be able to pick up a couple of these champion elephants, if he does so choose to focus them. And town center looks like it's trying to go back up, but walls going up, barracks going up. Champion elephant taking down the market. That stops King's gold. We do see how he was at 300 gold, and now he's at no gold. So there's not a lot of hope left for King. Like, he's got no gold. He's down town center. He's almost down 2 town centers, and he's not sitting at full population. That's never a good sign. Finally, King taps out. GG. Again, this was a game for the Resurrection Tournament, not the Resurrection Tournament, the KorN Tournament, played back in 2009, 2010. You can get it at RTS Sanctuary, the recorded game, and analyze it yourself, rewatch it. If I missed anything, you can watch it yourself and find out actually what happened. I just think this game really showcases what Age of Mythology had to offer over the ages. 2 top players playing this game to such a level that the smallest amount of mistakes made the biggest difference in this game. and even the top players make them in any circumstance. So really, I was rooting for King. He's my favorite player of all time. Like, his Zeus was ridiculous. But Magyar did take it. He took the tournament as well. And my name's BoIt. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.